Hi, my name is Dan. I live in Youngstown with my family, and I wanted to tell you a story. Actually, it's more than just a plain story. My testimony. Um, how I was converted to become a believer in Jesus Christ. Um, I didn't always live in Youngstown. As a kid, we traveled around a lot because my father was a career man in the Navy, and so we moved a lot from place to place. I think I went to 13 different schools in the 12 years of my regular K through 12 school experience. I think around 1974, maybe, or 73, we moved to Groton, Connecticut, which is a really nice town. It's a great town for a young person to grow up, I think. But we used to play basketball a lot on the basketball courts. We lived on a military housing complex, so they had a basketball court right about in the middle of the living area. So me and my friends, we played basketball a lot. One time, one of my friends and myself was playing basketball, and it was getting late at night. Well, not really late at night, but it was starting to turn night. So it was dusk. And I could see off in the distance walking up the street these two young men. Um, and after a few moments, I could recognize them, even though it was dark. I recognized them as two young Christians. I think they were about 18 years old. At the time, I think I was 16 when this happened. But, anyways, as they came up the street, my biggest fear was they were going to approach me and my friend on the basketball court. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did. And we were a little bit tentative. We really didn't want to talk to them, but we were courteous and we did anyways. They conveyed to us the need to believe in Jesus Christ. And they asked each of us, or both of us, if we'd like to say a prayer to get saved. And I guess in a haste to get rid of them, we said yes. And that's when they prayed with us. We were all kneeling in front of a bench, and they prayed with us, and they led us in what we call the sinner's prayer. After we were done praying, I don't, I can't really tell you that I felt different. And I don't know about my friend, but I don't remember. But they went on their way. And I figured, well, I never have to worry about these guys again because they're not going to come up to me and want me to pray with them again, I don't think. But about a week later, I was walking on this path that goes to the nearest department store. I didn't drive at this time. I was just a pedestrian. I rode bike. But anyways, I was walking on this path. It was only wide enough to support one person, really. As I was walking toward this department store, I think it was called Caldor, I saw another person coming from the other direction. And when he got closer, I recognized him as one of these two young men that prayed with us. So I was a little bit nervous about uh, passing him by because I figured he'd probably want to talk about something, you know. And, but anyways, when we met up with each other, as our paths crossed, he asked me how I was doing. I said I was doing good, you know. And he asked me where I was going and for what reason. I told him, well, I'm going to Caldors because I want to return an item I purchased. And he was like, and he says, okay. But he was really cheerful and happy, you know, to hear that I was doing well. So then he asked me, he says, well, what are you returning? I said, oh, I got this Black Sabbath album, so I'm going to return this. And his face just lit up. I mean, he was so happy. Because after all, you know, I got saved and now I'm getting rid of this Black Sabbath album. But what he didn't know was, and then I told him, I says, yeah, I'm going to take it back because it's got a scratch. And I'm going to exchange it for a new copy. Man, he looked so dejected. And at the time, I felt kind of bad because I knew I let him down, you know. Because inside of my heart, I knew that I shouldn't be listening to Black Sabbath, you know. But that's my testimony, at least the beginning anyways. Here I am 50 years later, finally living the dream of a believer. Actually, I've been a believer all these years, but I didn't act like it. But his prayers didn't go in vain, or their prayers didn't go in vain. And if by some miracle one of them happens to watch this video, please leave me a message. I would love to reach out and talk to you. Well, thanks. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.